Yo, what's good YouTube? It's boardzy, and this is going to be a review of the Pwnage Stormbreaker, the new wireless magnesium ergo mouse from Pwnage. And I'm not gonna lie, I did not get this early. I did get it sent for review from Pwnage just a bit after the launch, so I did watch the other reviews. I was just a consumer thinking about buying this thing. I do remember it was delayed. But all of that stuff aside, I have noticed a few things on this mouse that I just wanted to talk about and do a sort of a first impression style video, not a full detailed review, but yeah, just my perspective on this unit. First things first, these holes are ridiculous. We see with magnesium mice, companies really just like do whatever they want instead of something that makes sense. I would say Final Mouse, with their pretty traditional honeycombs, has the best cutouts of any magnesium mouse I've tried, but they do provide grip tape, which I was using. They feel similar to a BTL grips, and it's pretty solid. I just took them off to make a TikTok video, can have the mouse all covered up. But yeah, something else I noticed is that this is clearly made in the same factory as the Final Mouse is, based on the shell. Like, the Ultim plastic on the base is the same, the little sticker on the bottom is the same style, and you might be like, that's not definitive proof, but the engravings on the clicks are the same style. Just the way the clicks grind feels exactly the same. The scroll wheel is off center, which many people on Twitter noticed, and yeah, it's pretty much just an ergo Starlight made by Pwnage. It has an adjustable sensor position, which is pretty fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie, they provide you this little screwdriver, and you can move it up and down to your pleasing. But one thing I noticed is that it really affects the weight balancing of the mouse. Okay, I was gonna say, is it really not gonna let me move it with my finger? And yeah, this is a mouse that's pretty back heavy in general, so if you move the sensor towards the bottom, it's just gonna feel like noticeably off in hand, but if you keep it towards the top, you'll be fine. That brings me to weight, which I just realized I did not mention. This comes in at 51 grams, give or take a few, with grip tape, and the clicks are Omron 20Ms, which I find to be surprising. It is the same as what Final Mouse uses in the Starlight. I'm not sure if it's just unit-to-unit variance, but especially clicking towards the top of the mouse, it feels like the clicks have almost no travel and just very little tactility, so it's something I have found just not the best for clicking or spamming. If you do click towards the back, there is a lot more tactility and a more traditional click feeling, but I don't feel like anybody's going to be clicking this high up on a mouse that best compares to like the EC3 wireless in shape. I have seen a lot of comparing to the Zowie EC and the DeathAdder V3 Pro, which obviously makes sense. These are like the top premium ergo mice on the market, and they all share pretty similar shapes, but not really like design philosophies, I guess. If you want the like just most solid in-hand feeling and Zowie experience, whatever that means to you, just go with the Zowie mouse. Like, don't even think about it. If you're somebody bought into the hype of mice made with exotic materials, the lightest weight is at the low 50 gram range, this is the lightest ergo mouse I can think of. I know Lamzu has some stuff coming out, but this is on the market right now. And then if you really just want the safest ergo, in my opinion, of the bunch, not in terms of size, but just in terms of feeling, design, and tech, I would go with the DeathAdder V3 Pro. That is my main mouse, and it really only took probably like 30 minutes of testing the Stormbreaker to realize that it was not going to be better in the DeathAdder V3 Pro for me, but that does not mean it's a poor mouse. But there are some other things that I want to mention. First and foremost, the side buttons. These things are so fucking firm. I don't know if I just need to use them more and break them in. I'll talk about that more in the full review, I guess, but wow, these are extremely stiff. The positioning, I mean, it's not great for claw grip, but these are hittable. I mean, honestly, it's not great positioning unless you have your thumb pretty high up on the mouse, but I would definitely not recommend this for Fortnite, like, as my first option. Once again, DeathAdder V3 Pro. So yeah, while the side buttons are like very snappy and good quality, they are not going to be good for spamming or just great implementation, in my opinion. The clicks, like I mentioned, are going to feel very weird towards the top, and just similar to the early batches of Final Mouse mice, I just imagine there are going to be some issues that pop up. The build quality, though, I mean, it's really fucking strong. I don't have a single creak. I'm not sure if they're going to have creaking issues because of the base, similar to Final Mouse, but presuming they fix that and my unit stays the same, it is really just strong in terms of build quality, and I don't have any issues with like click pre-travel or post-travel to a degree that actually matters. But getting to the sensor implementation, this is where I just did have like one random hiccup. I did get the software installed and working properly, even though it is kind of a ghetto looking software that doesn't really matter too much. But I'm not sure if I had a polling rate issue or an LOD issue. But sometimes when I was like making swipes and just fast flicks, it just felt like my mouse was hitching across the screen, similar to LOD issues. And it was not only happening on a glass mouse pad. I figure some people are saying that. It was happening on the beloved Artisan Zero. So, I mean, in the full review, I'll definitely test that out and figure out what it was. But yeah, the sensor implementation was not flawless, but I would say it worked pretty well on 2K hertz. They said they're going to have 4K hertz compatibility down the line, which honestly doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know how it's not available from the launch. I would presume like some firmware thing. But yeah, they tried to say that 2K hertz is the best of both worlds. I mean, you can make the argument, but again, it's a sensor that works with 4K. Why not just have that available? They have the little pyramid dongle, which I honestly like. It is a bit satanic, which is not for me, but I love the idea of creative dongles. Mice need some pizzazz, and this is honestly a mouse that has a lot of pizzazz. At the $180 price point, it's slightly cheaper than a Starlight was, but I feel like the market is kind of at the point where this should be a $150 mouse, but then again, Razer's selling the Viper Mini Signature for damn near $300, and it's like, what does this mouse offer over the Stormbreaker aside from like better tech? I can't say that the build quality, at least on my unit, was on pixel perfect, but yeah, the Stormbreaker, in my opinion, it's a solid ergo. I know this video's been all over the place. I've just been spitballing. It's a solid ergo, similar to the EC3 in shape, definitely a step down from the Death Adder V3 Pro, and I really don't want it to seem like I'm just hating on this mouse because it is the new popular mouse or something. I mean, when do I ever do that? If anything, people are telling me I shill too many mice. But yeah, with all of this being said, my unit just definitely has some flaws that I have perceived, so I would not just go throwing your money at it. I mean, definitely consider, because there are solid ergos on the market, and the X-Lite V3 coming out, like, is this the ergo mouse for you? If you feel like it is, by all means go for it. The cheese grater holes, maybe they aren't the smartest design, but they do, once again, provide the grip tape. So they did address that. They also provide glass skates, which I'll speak more on in the full review. Just was breaking in the PTFE ones, which seem to be a-okay. But yeah, this mouse no doubt has some cool shit going for it, like being the only magnesium ergo, the adjustable sensor position, the pyramid dongle, but there are also just some flaws like the side button stiffness, the main clicks not having just a lot of refined tactility, and the scroll wheel being off center, which you can determine how much that matters. And like I mentioned, the random sensor issue that I bet will most likely be addressed via a firmware fix. But yeah, with the adjustable sensor position, I don't know if that could possibly have anything to do with it. Most likely not. But yeah, this mouse just did not strike me as by far and away the best ergo on the market. It really feels more aimed towards people who want a Starlight, but with a EC clone shape, basically, rather than people who already enjoy ergos looking to try out something exotic. But maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe this is going to be the hit mouse of 2023. But yeah, it's going to be all for this first impressions / discussion video about the Pwnage Stormbreaker. If you enjoyed it and would like to see the full review when it drops, where I go over the seal of approval, a bit more in depth about the shape, other factors, do be sure to like and subscribe. But yeah, that's going to be all. Pretty shocking mouse. Peace.